Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Ashley and today I wanted to do a palette bingo with you. I recently got this beauty in the mail today and I am so stinking excited. This is the At Forest site. This is the Raw Beauty Christie and ColourPop collab. You guys, please be proud of me. I showed incredible restraint because I'm not gonna lie to you, I wanted this whole collection. If for no other reason than this amazing artwork. This collection, when it comes to the aesthetic, is Ashley 100%. Like, I have always loved Raw Beauty Christie, don't get me wrong, but now I feel like we are soul sisters. She doesn't know who I am, and she probably would not feel the same way, but I, in my heart of hearts, I feel like we would be soul sisters. This collection speaks to me. I mean, the color palette alone is everything that I want in life. So we have these beautiful, rich, jewel-toned shades. We've got a duochrome in there. Like, this is just, it is everything. And I really wanted, like I said, the whole collection, but I was good. I looked at the collection and I said, Ashley, you do not need any more lip glosses. You have a ton of lip gloss. You don't need any more. Ashley, as much as you love the Super Shock shadows, you rarely wear the Super Shock shadows. You forget that they're in your collection. As much as you may want a beautiful yellow eyeliner and a beautiful green eyeliner, how often are you really going to use those? So again, please be very proud. I showed incredible restraint. And I only got an eyeshadow palette that I don't need, but I really, really want. So again, this is the color story right here. And it is absolutely stunning. I have not tried this yet. This came in the mail yesterday and I was like, okay, must film tomorrow. Must do palette bingo. Because let's be real, it's been reviewed. As I've said before, ColourPop, the only reason to review ColourPop is if you're on their PR list, because they just crank out so many releases that by the time us regular folk get it, that ship has sailed. But I'm really, really happy that I have this here. So we're going to do a palette bingo instead. So I have already set up my pretty random app with the variables 1 through 12 in there. I'm going to start like I usually do with 4 shades. Because these are very, very rich and very, very pigmented shades, I don't want to get too crazy too quickly. So the first one is going to be the number 9, the number 12, the number 1, and the number 6. So let me go ahead and swatch all of those out and we'll see what we're working with. All right, so here we have the colors. So starting at the top, this here is West Coast. This was number 6. Number 1 is Puffball. Number 12 rather is Let It Rain. And then the bottom one is number 9, which is Fiddlehead. I'm not gonna lie, Fiddlehead is one of the, well, I can't pretend like any of these are ones that I was not super looking forward to getting. So I'm feeling like this is a very fun and safe color story. Like, I've almost got it visualized what I think I would do, but I want to throw caution to the wind, and we're going to roll one more. So let's see what we're going to get. Number 11. Okay, I can deal with that. Number 11 is PNW. It's this blue shade right here. Let me go ahead and swatch that out. I'm going to put it above West Coast. So it looks like that right there. I'm terrified of blues. I almost never wear blues. And I am still a little bit afraid, but I think though that this is going to give it some complexity that the original color story was lacking. So I've already got just a little bit of foundation on. I have my It Cosmetics CC cream because I really wanted the SPF in it. So I'm going to go ahead and just zoom you in and we're going to get started with building the look. All right, so we're all zoomed in and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start with Puffball, the only thing that could really be used as kind of a crease shade. And I'm gonna take that very, very lightly in the crease. The one thing that I will say about this palette is that for those of us who are quite fair, There aren't a lot of sort of transition shades, so I just want to make sure that I'm being very gentle, tapping off, because I have a feeling that this could get really dark really quickly. But I'm not gonna lie, these tones are so just everything that I want. Even this brown, even though it's a little bit darker than what I would generally reach for the initial shade, it has this beautiful sort of mustardy undertone, which y'all know I'm so obsessed with olives and mustards, and I just think it's so, so pretty. I really am excited that companies are starting to come out with palettes that are a little less warm toned. Not that there's anything wrong with warm tones, I just have so many of them. And it's nice to have a different color story to play with, if that makes sense. So let's chat a little. What are your plans for today? For me, this is the Saturday following Thanksgiving. And after my son's nap, we are going to go out and we're going to hang Christmas lights on the house. And I'm so excited. For those of you that don't know me personally, I am not much of a Christmas person. I never really have been. It's just not my favorite holiday. I get a lot of anxiety around gift giving because I put a lot of pressure on myself. And if you've been following me and you've seen my Project Pans, then you're like, that makes sense. Ashley putting pressure on herself? No way. But it just, I don't know. It's not my favorite holiday. But what I do love are Christmas lights. I remember as a kid, I grew up in a real small town in Texas. Not so small anymore, but it was small at the time. And we would just drive around and look at everybody's Christmas lights. And I just remember that was so much fun. I loved doing it. My parents didn't really put up their own Christmas lights, which as a kid I was super bummed out about. But I did really, really love going around all of the different neighborhoods in our town and seeing all of the holiday lights, and different like businesses and establishments and things like that would do like real big displays, and it was a lot of fun. I really, really enjoyed it. So I am also going to take a smaller fluffy brush because that one's a little unwieldy, and I'm going to go in my lower lash line with that same shade. No, actually I lied. I'm going to hold off on that. Instead, what I am going to do is I'm going to take the blue shade right here, PNW, and I'm going to be doing a halo. So I'm going to do the inner and the outer corners. Again, though, I do need to find something that is a little bit smaller and more precise, because this is going to be a very pigmented color, especially on my skin tone, and I really don't want to get too crazy with it. So this is just an e.l.f. brush, one of their dollar brushes. I wonder, are these still $1? I don't know. But I'm really excited to do that, and that's too blunt. I want something with more of a taper. So this is by Morphe, but it doesn't have a number on it. I'm really excited to put up the Christmas lights with my son, because at Halloween, the neighborhood that we drive through to get home from his school, so many people put decorations out in their yards, whether they be pumpkins or like skeletons, you know, just the normal sort of stuff. And he absolutely loved it. Like, we would take walks or drive around and just find all of the holiday decorations, and he was tickled to no end. Like, he still talks about the decorations that he saw and that he's excited to see them again next year. So I think putting up the Christmas lights will be so much fun for him, because he's just so excited. We've got a neighbor down the street who has a inflatable snowman that was out last year, and he really took a shine to that. But this year they've already got it up, and every time we go outside he has to point it out. He just loves it. So I'm really kind of excited that, even though I myself am not much of a Christmas person, I'm actually really excited this year to decorate, because he gets such a kick out of it, and I'm very excited about that aspect. So I bought new stockings now that I think our family is at the size we're going to keep it. I think 3 kids is a good amount. So I bought some stockings when I was at Target a few weeks ago so that they're all nice and cohesive. And so I am looking forward to decorating the house because I think that it'll be nice. And this color is going on really nicely, but I'm trying really hard not to get too messy with it because it definitely has that potential. I had already primed my eyes using my MAC paint pot in the shade Painterly, and then just a soft kind of cream colored matte, but I never set my lids because I want them to remain tacky, and as I'm putting this blue shade on, I'm feeling like that is for me a bit of a mistake at the moment, because where I'm putting the pigment, it's really just sticking down and not blending out quite as well as I would want it to. But we're definitely making do. I just don't want it to get too out of control, especially on my hooded eyes. But I think this is going to be nice. And I'm a little bit afraid to build it up too much more. But we'll see. I mean, I can always go back and add more. So I'm also trying to avoid too much fallout since I have already done my face makeup. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there. And I'm going to go in with some concealer just on the center of the lid so that I can put a nice clean base down for West Coast. And I'm just using my Milk Makeup Concealer, which is my favorite for eyeshadow work. Okay, that looks pretty even, and I'm sorry, there's literally no way I could talk and do that at the same time. All right, and then using my Sigma E57, I'm gonna go into West Coast. And just tap that all over the center. You could absolutely use your finger. I just prefer brushes because I feel like I've got more control that way. And this is a beautiful shade. Look at that. That is so pretty. I am loving that so much. Okay, but the edges are definitely super harsh. So I'm going to go in. Originally, I was just going to go back in with PNW, but Fiddlehead might make a little bit more sense. So just using that same Morphe brush, I'm going to take Fiddlehead and I'm going to blend the 2 shades together. Yeah, that was smart. That was smart. All right, this is definitely a fun look. Okay, so originally I was gonna take Fiddlehead underneath my eyes, and I think I still will. But the first thing I'm gonna do is just with this flat shader, or flat shader brush, definer brush, what is this? Flat definer brush from Luxie. I am going to take Let It Rain, which is that black shade, and I am just gonna go right on the lower lash line and use this as a faux liner. Okay, and then again, just going back to this same Morphe brush that I've been using, I'm going to go into Fiddlehead and just blend that right out. Nice and smoky. Okay, and then finally, because that is definitely quite dark, I'm going to take this original brush that we used and just try to blend out the edges with no additional product on it. Just keep it from looking quite so harsh. All right, maybe just a touch more product. Again, this can get a bit dark, so I don't want it to go too overboard, but we need some gradient. Okay. I'm going to stop there. I'm going to go ahead and apply the rest of my makeup, and then we'll come back for the final look. All right, so here we are all finished up. As always, everything that is on my face will be listed in the description box below. I am so thrilled with this look. This was so much fun. I guarantee you, I would not have put this eye look together had it not been for the random aspect. And that's why eyeshadow bingo is so much fun, because you do things that you never would have ordinarily. I think that everything came together just so nicely, and I'm really, really very happy with it. If you had gotten these colors, what would you have done? I'm always fascinated to know where everybody would have gone with the same shades. If you are new here, welcome. I hope that you will consider subscribing before you leave. And certainly if you enjoyed this video and want to see more palette bingos from me in the future, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I hope that you are having an amazing day, and I will see you next time. Bye.